The Matrix will make me pay for this, you know. All these videos. The Matrix will make me pay for them. For instance, if I've said something, say I've called out the bitchmen of the Matrix, it will then try and, you know, push you so hard so you know, so that you cry, you know what I mean? It'll push you back the way that you sort of pushed it. And push you back down and push you back in. And take that to everything. That's the realization. That's a Matrix hack, I guess, because you're seeing it. So if you can see and understand how it works, then you should be able to eventually figure out a way to hack it, and that's a type of hack. So just when you make the videos, it will come at you. And, you know, through all people, or seemingly almost everyone, not everybody. I do not see the same vibration in everybody like the hive mind on everyone. I have to say it's partially on us all. Like it's a surface virus, and the compromised sabotage mind is kind of in the middle of, say, the monkey body brain and, you know, the heavenly cosmic light body sort of thinking. And it's like a net, you know, and a dark veil, but see, we're piercing that veil. That's what's going down when you're doing this. It's like a net or a veil, you know. So the vibration, I've already said in other videos, matters a lot. But what I said at the start, you know, watch out, it will make you pay. When you've called out something with the Matrix, the Archons or something, and then, like, I made a few videos on them as well, they'll bring them in harder. So it's a pretty interesting sentient reaction game, you know. It's basically like a sentient reaction game, like a virtual reality would be if it was, you know, really well coded. You know, and they talk about how we've found, you know, code in physics and simulation theory. That's what I was relating to. But yeah, it's sentient, and it just knocks back on you, you know. You knock at its door, and it knocks back on you, and in a sinister way. I don't think this is the same as just Mother Nature. I see a difference, and this is what no one is saying in the movement, or maybe no one has made clear enough, and that it's a surface virus. I really see it like that. So, you know, look into that part of it if you don't think so, because you have to at least look into it to be able to have an opinion, isn't it? Just out here grounding it up. Oh. And I find when I ground, that surface virus comes off, and, you know, the use of the plant and the fungi hallucinogens. Look, I don't get the same thing. I have had microdots, I've had all sorts of things in the past, acid, and I even had several ecstasies when I was younger when they were better. And then they turned to shit, and I only had a few, like maybe 7 or something like this. Not all at once, different occasions. And then I remember the last few were just different. You know, less good, and, you know, like DMT is rare. I haven't even had DMT smoke, so it's pretty rare. And, you know, I just got, I actually just received San Pedro powder. I've been calling for San Pedro for, I don't know, a good few years, 3-4 years. And finally it landed in my hand for free. That's the way you want to do it. Just wait, it'll come. And that's what I'm saying. This thing is such a reaction to both sides. You can seemingly manifest, and there's that forward sort of momentum, and you're actually part of the universe, creating universe for real. And you are like the forward thrust of it. But then there's this side where all this gang stalking comes in, and all the dark stuff comes in, and it is the dark stuff because it's devoid informationally. That's like basically a very base axiom for dark and light. I don't think people are paying enough attention to that as an axiom, like statement. So beautiful here. Oh, listen to birds. I love the birds. They open the crown chakra and you get the joy back. You get a type of ecstasy from the heart, but it's like a joy from the crown chakra. When you open that and the energy is going. I've got the pasties. So just remember, it's both ways, that's what I was saying in the video. So sorry, I was just stopping to ground because it's so nice here. I'm itching, I'm scratching, I'm moving. Life is vivacious, or movement, and that's why I sometimes mention chi energy, because it's known as life force, and it's also known as like the momentum energy. And yes, when people talk about inner wind, that's going to be chi. And that's part of ionization and standing on the ground. Because this is negative ions and positive ions. And people relate that to chi, so just saying. Maybe it's important. And it's like self-chiropractics, Fixes everything in your body, though, to the most subtle degree, not just cracking of bones and trying to realign some ligaments and all this business, but really that eventually happens when the areas relax from the grounding from a long time. So the more like uptight you are, the more grounding you need. Like right now I'm quite uptight because I haven't grounded for 2 good days now. And when there's rain, sometimes I don't ground as much, but before the rain is really good. So I'm grounding now because I feel the charge changing in the atmosphere and the storm coming. Yes, like a real shaman. And I feel that ionically. And I can teach you to do that for sure. It's not that hard. You just notice your vibration. And so I can feel the ionization of the atmosphere changing, and the storms are coming. And it's been dry for a while, and I didn't need to ground as much. So when the storm's coming and the electrostatic picks up even more, you get more positive charge. It's pretty easy to feel because you feel like more out of whack. And the longer you don't ground, the more your biorhythms all go kaput or lose momentum in that life force. And that relates to, the physical molecules moving about your body and everything. And then things start to clog like that even. And that's like, one of the major ways of clogging. I don't know if anyone's even said that, but it's just energetically you first clog. Like everyone just says, energy comes before. Sorry, I'm getting bit in my mozzies. Energy comes before, the physical, so to speak. It's down into density is the way to say that. Creation is down into density. So, this is the living third dimension. And I think we should call it base reality for now, because, yes, like some people note on, psychedelics, you feel more essence of the universe, and then so you think that that's more real than here. You heard people say that. Well, it's just because they're feeling the essence more, because they're finally connecting more, I really need a drink. So watch the charge of your water tanks. Water tank water, positive charge as. I was on a friend's farm, I remember, in 2016 in Australia when I worked on a passion fruit farm and banana farm, and they had dragon fruits and pawpaw and everything. Tomatoes. Free food. It was awesome. But I remember being at a farm and their tank was in the sun for part of the day, and then so you build a positive charge in the water and it wouldn't absorb in my body. Like, I would drink more. I would drink more water. I'd drink a whole litre, for instance, and not feel refreshed, not feel... It's like a electrostatic ionic layer feeling, because it's positive and negative charged water. Like when you get really nice alkaline water from in nature in a stream, it's going to be, tourniqueted and toroidal fields. Everything's working, you know what I mean? And like the pure water. So you feel the difference, and it's the same with the storm coming. When you feel the storm coming, you can feel the positive charge in the air, and even by smell as well, and you just tune in like that. It's not hard. But yeah, if you tune deeper, you seem to see that you can, change the code with your like light body. It's like you have light hands, and you can, you have your light body, and you have something similar to a part of that light body which can touch the universal code and sort of rewrite it or upgrade the code now. You can really upgrade the code now if you're I think like a vector and like forefront of humanity. You'll see these people because they or we, if I may, no, but we, they, whatever, these people will be, always on the epistemological edge. Like how many people are structuring a video along the lines of what I'm saying, like how I'm putting it all together, you know what I mean? It's not just in one grid of like I'm just talking about physics or just spirituality or something. Like I mold like everything in, and that's how reality is. It's multidimensional, and when you can learn to go interdimensional, you seem to be able to fix code, fix your body at a light body level, and that's simple. It's just you change the optic cable, upgrade the optic cable in the building, you know what I mean? And you send the codes in different frequencies and you build different codes. It's kind of just programming, and you can sort of self-program, but I still say in the end it's, dirigible and you're guided by this creative force. It just looks so like that. So, and then, people are talking about outer matrix experiences and that this is all just a matrix. Yeah, and it does feel like that when you get very deep, It's pretty interesting. And then we find code that even says, oh yeah, look, 0 and 1s. But I think those 0s and 1s, they're likely to be a layer like the Planck length, the smallest conceivable physical matter postulation by Max Planck. And it's around there then, obviously, and just 1s and 0s in the universal, the universe, the universal drama. So if you can just connect with the earth barefoot, or I just do it with socks on the grass even, and it's sufficient, and you feel like you can get like a hyperlight grip, like the nacelles of Star Trek, and you feel like you can get that, and the more you increase your light body, it feels to me more like rejuvenating, longevity, like a solid vibration, like immunity is part of that. Something I feel even when I eat like chromium, like a shield. You feel that energetically, and you should feel that in your aura. And yeah, I just wanted to say, but at the start of this video, I'm going to end the video here now too on that, on the same note I started it. Just, when you get to that layer, be careful, because it's coming at you if you're talking about the organic portals, I've noticed. So is it us interacting on a level we shouldn't be? I don't know. Oh, people say they hear from other star systems and universes and all this business, so it's interesting what's going on. And we're just changing the code, seemingly shifting energies out of the grid by doing that. It's like releasing from like smaller code to connecting more upgraded code, which is like more connected, and so the arguments can pass between the functions of the code more easily and in better fashion. So it seems to be what we're doing, as we shift energies out of the grid. What do I mean by that? Well, it's like if you are a something, you're a something, and that's why the organic portals say he's just a this, they're just a that, because they see it on that level, and they don't seem to take the time to really try and figure it out even more. But so there's a little insight to how the organic portals work for sure. And like I've mentioned that in a video, they say you're just this or you're just that. I never really said that. I don't even think I've ever really said that to someone, like you are just this. I'll say you are or something, but I know they're more. You know what I mean? But at that moment they may be being stupid or etc. or whatever, and you say a name, and it's not just derogatory and negative, but it is descriptory in nature. Even though these words get ambiguous, like the F word, and we insert SHIT and all the business, isn't it? And you get angry and lose your cool. But I swear I get angry much more when I'm positively charged as well. So that's another thing. If you negatively charge, you definitely calm down more, and it's a definite calming down and pushing down into like less vibration. And then it's said you go, sub-threshold or whatever, into the higher light. It's post-threshold. I'll leave that for you guys, but just remember that if you talk about something of the matrix, it starts doing it to you. It's going to get you.